Hi, I'm Sandy, and I am glad to invite you to a tour of my garden. My gardens are not professional gardens by any sense of the word. I like crazy quilts, and I like that same idea in my gardens, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And we moved here about 7 years ago. There was no landscaping except tiger lilies and rocks. Gravel all the way around the house. So I'll show you what we have done and come into my garden. So starting, I have some raised beds for vegetables, and then we added sidewalks, and I love daylilies, so this is the first, actually the second bed that I put in. And a few years ago I discovered how much I really like daylilies. So since then I've started collecting a few here and there. And I have trouble figuring out which ones are my favorite, because this one is, and I'll just keep going because they're all my favorites. This was actually the first bed that I put in. My dad had a nursery, and he died about 12 years ago, and I took some of the plants from there and moved them to this house. Which helps me to remember him and where I got my love of gardening too. A little mountain bluet here I found this year. That's new. And one daylily stuck in the back there. And a few annuals. This was one of the problem areas that I had beginning. I didn't realize when I did this that the septic tank was running right next to the deck. And I lost quite a few plants to that venture of having the tank pumped, so now I have a brick there and a piece of garden art, and I will never lose plants to the septic tank being pumped again. I have chickens, and I started out with a row of lavender plants along here, and they dug out half of them, so that's what remains. Butterfly bush, more daylilies. This is another favorite. And some coral bells, heuchera in there, and a little fern leaf maple on the end. I like sedums. I have a couple different kinds. That one, this one, and several on this side. Nestled down in there. And I'm going to take you out to continues along the deck. This bed is a little bit, it's much better in the spring. It's not so great right now. But I have a lot. My biggest problem is deer and rabbits. And I did a tour of a garden, I think 2 years ago, and they had installed a solar-powered electric fence. So I got my husband on board, and we put up an electric fence around this garden, which is an 80-foot long swath here, and started in the back with a row of bushes. Have maple leaf viburnum, rose of Sharon, and lilacs, which alternate. The lilacs were from my dad, and they bloomed this year for the first time in the new place. But again, daylilies are some of my favorites. Little limelight, and I really love iris, so I have iris more in the back. This end of the bed is more white and then yellows, so I have a yellow echinacea in the back. This is a yellow peony and yellow daylilies, and this is a false sunflower, which just blooms all the time. Even with the drought this year, it has bloomed continually. And then more into peach colors, another of my favorite. They're all my favorite actually. And some orange echinacea, and then more towards pinks and reds, and there's a bright red peony in the back, red iris in the back, and these are the newest daylilies I have, so most of them, what blossoms they have come and gone already. This little grapeette has a few more buds to come. That's one of my favorites too, as they all are. And down towards the end of this row through purples and then into deeper pinks at the end. And a deeper pink echinacea and some yarrow finishes up this row. I hope you've enjoyed this tour and hope to see yours.